Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are you folks doing? Yes, I'm in my United States Army t-shirt. United States of America. Hooah! You know the deal. Wanted to put something up here for you guys. Once again, hey, how y'all doing? Leo Naranjo IV, candidate for governor in 2026. Giving you a little special tidbit. Back in California. God bless those people in Georgia. I don't know how they do it. I really don't know how they do it. Ooh, that state. Oh my God. They put stuff around their buildings that would make people here in this state literally cringe, and insurance companies froth at the mouth for the opportunities to charge people for insurance coverage. And what I'm talking about is in Georgia, they like to beautify their areas, and they do so with pine needles. Now, I want you to picture a tree, brand new sapling tree, put into the ground in new built up areas, whether it's a new home, apartment buildings, call it what you will. They put these trees in the ground, and for like about 3 foot around in a circle, and it's about this high, almost 3 inches high, is nothing but pine needles. And apartment complexes, they like to beautify their area too, so you figure you're looking at 1.5 feet away from the building, this high of pine needles right up against the facade of the building. Oh my God, that is the wet dream of an insurance company, to charge somebody for fire coverage and fire insurance. And that's what they do in Georgia. It's crazy. Speaking of, when I left Georgia, gas at a Costco station, $2.46. Mr. Hilton, you still trying to freeze gas prices at $3 and think that's going to be the end all tell all? Everybody should be kissing your backside because you brought gas down to $3? $2.46 at a Costco. Anybody that lives in California knows Chevron is not a cheap station. They're one of the highest fuel costers in our state. You know what gas was at a Chevron station in Georgia? $2.64. And on some of them, I saw $2.57. Wow. I fill up a 15-gallon tank over there, I drop $25. I come back here to California after being gone from a family emergency for almost 2 weeks. It's almost $70. Oh my God, what's going on? Anyway, enough of the fun stuff, the nonsense stuff. Berlin, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to look at this symbol right here. Look at this tag, this patch. The Berlin Military Brigade, Army of Occupation, United States Military Forces Berlin. That's where I served for 2.5 years behind the wall. Rainbow denotes something. People talk about the Berlin Brigade, and there's all kinds of fond memories. And when I was over there almost 30 years ago by now, 31 years ago, matter of fact, Germans loved Americans, loved the hell out of them. The older generation did. The newer generation, not so much. They could care less about us. They wanted us gone. But the older generation, those who knew and remembered, loved the hell out of Americans because they understood what it meant for American forces to be there, the freedoms that we represented, the force of arms that we presented, the form of government that we represented. That's what America was for them: peace, freedom, and stability. And if you've never been to Europe, if you've never got the opportunity to travel before the wall fully came down, let me tell you, the surveillance that you see nowadays spreading out across the United States of America, kind of spooky in its sense. Of course, it's, just to catch the bad guys. But the way that it's happening, what they had over there would have rocked your world. And I was one of those over there that drove across the Berlin corridor to get from West Germany to Berlin during my duty assignment. Had to cross 3 Soviet checkpoints, Russian checkpoints. Interesting concept. Going through a guard, kind of like a CHP trucker checkpoint, a little bit more enhanced, vastly wider. You're going through a checkpoint, and the only thing you have with you is a little booklet that says in Deutsch German and in Russian, I am requesting to speak to a Russian soldier, and I will only speak to Russian soldiers. They prepped you up before you drove across that little swath of land separating Berlin from the rest of Germany. And you had to go through your 3 checkpoints to do it. And every one of them was manned by the East Germans. And let me tell you how intimidating that was as a young soldier being over there in that part of the country. When you're told the East Germans don't exist, only the Russians, and you look around outside your car and there's about 20 some odd number of soldiers standing around looking at you, half of them with automatic weapons and half of those with killer German Shepherd guard dogs that are not stopping to bark, because that's all they did was bark, looking like they wanted to chew on somebody for lunch. It gives you a new perspective towards life on what's important and what's not important. Because those people, when you got it into your mind, they did not exist. Their weapons didn't exist. Oh, they were real enough, don't get me wrong, but they didn't exist. And when I got to Berlin, got to my duty station and everything, I was really impressed as a young soldier back then. I'm standing 75 feet away from the East German side of Berlin, separated by a wall. And that was it. Why am I bringing all this up? What is that? Leo, what does this have to do with anything on a campaign trail in California in 2026? You're talking about 1990s stuff. Yes, I am. 1993, as a matter of fact, is the last time I was there in Berlin. 32 years ago. Ooh, time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind each and every one of you out there today, I want to remind each and every one of you prepping for upcoming events in California, in Nevada, in Arizona, all up and down this wonderful, glorious country that we call the United States of America. I want you all to sit there, look around, and see what we have that makes this country so great. People in it, form of government we have, beauty of our individual states. I'm sure Minnesota has some great places. Oregon probably had some great places. Portland is no longer one of them, much less Seattle. California still has some great places, even with the problems that we have. This is a fantastic freaking nation, you got to admit. How did it come about, ladies and gentlemen? A little bit of an educational slip into there. How did the United States of America come about? Well, my goodness, Leo, you should know there's 13 colonies. Yes, there were. 13 colonies on the eastern coast. They didn't like the taxation. They didn't like the repressive nature of government. They didn't like being told by those people in England what to do and how to do it. This July 4th, I want each and every one of you to know and understand this, because July is after, of course, the primaries in our governor race in California governorship. Gubernatorial race is already going to be well underway. It'll be in the general election at that point. But as we're marching towards July the 4th of July, as we like to famously call it, I'd like to remind each and every person out there hearing my voice, and within the sound of hearing my voice, who in the hell did we fight to become independent? And if you don't remember, maybe you don't need to be in this election cycle voting. Because it's pretty obvious to some of us whose ass we had to whip to win our independence. Let's not go backwards and go into recession putting one of those folks in charge of our wonderful state. Leave it for you like that. Leo Naranjo, the fourth candidate for governor of California 2026. God bless y'all, and we'll talk to you some more in a few. Bye-bye.